It is organized by Association of Pakistani Physicians of New England in collaboration with our national experts throughout the country. I would like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Maria Saeed, and I am a graduate of Dow Medical College. I am practicing as a rheumatologist, and I am a clinical assistant professor at Brown University and chief of rheumatology at a landmark medical center. And also I'm part of APPNE board. So today what we will go over is like step-by-step information as to what types of US clinical experience you need, as well as how to approach physicians as well as platforms and to use as well as to avoid scams, how you can get an impactful LOR, as well as the visa implications. All right, so all righty, before I go ahead, I would like to share the agenda. So I will go ahead and introduce our panelists one by one, and then they will go ahead and discuss their specific topics for 5 minutes. Once that is done, we will open the floor for general question and answer session. You are all welcome to put your questions in the chat, and we will try our best to answer those in the question and answer session as well as we go along through the webinar. All righty, so I'll go ahead and would like to introduce our panelist. We have Dr. Syed Mansoor Zaidi. Thank you, Dr. Zaidi, for, can you raise your hand and we can, so that we can see? Yeah, all righty. Thank you for joining us. Then we have Dr. Sadaf Ali. Dr. Ali, can you, yeah, thank you. Now we also have Dr. Salman Altaf. Dr. Altaf, where are you? Okay, all righty. I think his video is off. Then we have Dr. Rafia Kutab. All right. And then we also have Dr. Sam Naqvi. All righty. And we have Dr. Mohammad Fateh Shahzad. Dr. Shahzad. And then we also have Dr. Faiza Malik, who will be joining with us shortly. I would like to thank you all for taking the time and also painstakingly research all the topics and to be part of this webinar. Really appreciate our panelists. I also want to acknowledge our co-host, Dr. Rafia Kutab and Dr. Sam Naqvi, who are helping us out in this session, as well as Fatma Kutab, who is working in the background setting up this webinar. So hope you find this webinar informative and empowering. And all righty, so let's get started. So my first question is, we will actually wait, we will skip Dr. Faiza Malik first, as she was supposed to discuss about different types of US clinical experience. We will go ahead with that once she joins us. So we will start with Dr. Mansoor Zaidi. All right, Dr. Mansoor Zaidi is a graduate of Dow Medical College, and he's a nephrologist in Houston. He is a community faculty at Lone Star Residency Program. He is also president-elect at APPNE South Texas chapter. So, Dr. Zaidi, we would like you to discuss, how to find and apply for U.S. Clinical experience, what opportunities there are, as well as the trustworthy platforms and to craft a compelling letter and email of interest, and also avoid scams, observership scams, which are paid scams. So do you, Dr. Zaidi? You need to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. So a few things. Do you have the presentation? I sent it out to you. Is there a possibility we can put that on? Okay. Cannot hear you guys, but if you guys can hear me, someone can confirm. Okay, good. So let's do the next slide. Okay, so who am I? Dr. Maria Saeed have already introduced. I'm a nephrologist. I'm a doc graduate, class of 99. I did my training at University of Louisville for internal medicine nephrology. Been practicing in Houston since 2009, and I'm a community faculty at Lone Star Residency Program. Um, I am a president-elect for the APPNE STC, and we are running one of the biggest YPC programs at a local chapter for any APPNE chapters. Now, prior to when I did my residency, I also did some rotations here in the US. I remember it was very easy to do and get a rotation at that time. Uh, when I landed in Washington, D.C., the cousin was staying with, she told me, hey, pick a yellow book, start calling the hospitals, doctors, and see who can give you the overship. And then I started calling people, and the next day, I maybe have called like 50 hospital staff, and I got the internship or internship at VA at Washington D.C. It was that easy. Now it's not that easy to get hospital-based rotations and whatnot. Hence, the reason for the program. Next slide, please. Okay, so the questions I was asked initially was, what are the resources, platforms to find observerships, how to write a letter of interest, and to avoid the scam. So we'll just go one by one. Next slide, please. So, we have a lot of resources, like right now in the time of social media, internet. I think everything is available on your fingertips by the phone. So research is not that difficult in figuring out what doctors, where are we. Can you hear better now? Okay. So researching online, talking to your colleagues, your seniors who've gone through the rotations. The voice is distorted. Um, Let me see. I'm gonna join it. Can I join it through my phone app and see if the voice any better? If the laptop is not working right? Let me see here.
Yeah, you can try that. Now you can try.
Can we check the voice quality, please?
Can you guys hear me now? Is that okay? So, finding research online, talking to your colleagues, seniors, people. Hold on, let me just one thing. Can you guys hear me better now? Oh, okay. So finding resources by talking to your seniors, talking to your colleagues, Right now we have so many rotators who are coming from Pakistan and from all over the world who has been using Apna YPC and other resources and even non-Apna physician resources. Talking to them give you a very good idea who is offering you the rotations where, inpatients, outpatients, the type of rotation you want and whatnot. One of the other resources which I have found is alumni chapters. Alumni chapter, I don't know about a lot of other alumni chapters, but we do have a chapter which is run by Dr. Grace. He's doing an excellent job. He does refer people to a lot of YPCs or other physicians who are willing to offer. You guys still will hear me right, or I can still, if you're saying can't understand anything.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zebi, for your insightful answers. We will also be sharing these slides end of the webinar. So if you have missed out, we will be happy to share that with you. All right. So next we have Dr. Faiza Malik. All right. Hello, Dr. Malik. How are you doing? So thank you for joining. Great. So Dr. Malik is a graduate of Dow Medical College, and she is an internal medicine faculty at HCA Clear Lake Houston Lake Hospital in Houston, Texas. So Dr. Malik, can you go ahead and give us the types of breaking down the types of U.S. clinical experience and what types there are, as well as inpatient versus outpatient, which are more valuable in your application for residency. So to you, Dr. Malik.
So, hi, my name is Dr. Faiza Malik. Good morning, everybody. So, there are various kind of United States clinical experiences that you can obtain as an IMG, and that would help you not only to get insight with US healthcare system, but also it helps you your application as well. So, uh, technically and legally, anything that's not hands-on is allowable. So, in order to have any hands-on experience, you have to have some kind of license. For the most state, every state vary, but for the most part, for Texas, Ohio, for majority of the state, in order to have hands-on clinical experience, you have to have some sort of license to do that. Otherwise, for an IMG, the legal way is just to observe. So when as a I have been faculty for last 10 years almost. I was with Methodist, then UTMB, and then now HCA. So if program director or associate program director or anybody who's reviewing the application see that you had hands-on experience in New Jersey or New York, that makes application a little bit questionable. Like how were you able to do it? And it's not even allowed. So observation is the only for the most state. If there's anything different, other panelists can tell me. But if there's anything different, they can correct me. But for the most part, it is usually observation. So most of the universities and programs have a way of doing it. Appropriate channel, you have to go to the med staff or residency director. So every program is different. Usually, most of these experience are free of cost. They don't charge you anything except for application fee, which is their manpower they use, maybe like 100 and like, I hear from the people they have been spending $2,000-3,000 for USC, I guess, which sounds a little bit shady to me. I believe most of the programs do it absolutely, free of cost, or they charge us a little bit of application fee that is used to the manpower they use to process your application. Second is you can be part of researches. A lot of faculties, a lot of university programs are doing research. You can become part of those research groups, and it not only help you broaden your medical knowledge, but also get to know people, and they get to know you. It will help your residency application. Um, but whatever path you choose, either you choose the observation path or you choose the research path, it should be done through proper channel rather than online resources that promise you. You can always reach out to faculty directly. You can always reach out to the program directly and ask them what are their options rather than going through the third party, and who are definitely not your best interest in their heart. And a lot of programs want to have observers, so they have exposure to the applicants beforehand and they know which one they like and which one they, so it's mutual. Sometimes program itself is looking out for observer and they really want observers. So it's not like somebody's doing you a huge favor or something. Sometimes programs themselves look out because they really want applicants to spend more time and they get to know them, and if they feel somebody is that they like, and they can offer them position or rank them higher. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Dr. Malik. How about inpatient and outpatient versus can you get experience now, given it is very hard to get inpatient now? So can you throw light on that?
Yes, absolutely. Like at CA Clinic, the way I work, they have a medical staff office. You can send an application there. We are overwhelmed with applications. We are really overwhelmed. But so it's very last year it was easier to get as an observership here, but this year it's very challenging. We have observer in every specialty, every service. So and we have a cap also, so we cannot have more than 4 learner per doctor. So, but it's not impossible. It is possible. In Houston, there are multiple hospital systems. They are offering observerships, and most of them are free of cost, except for application fee, which might plus minus happen. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was really insightful. I just also want to let you know that unfortunately we were not able to listen to hear Dr. Zedi very clearly due to poor reception. But we will definitely share his slides, which he has made, because it had like a list of like resources and also the APPNE house they have. So please make sure you look at that. We will share that at the end of the webinar. All right. All right, we are moving forward to our next panelist, and it is Dr. Salman Altaf. He is a graduate of University College of Medicine and Dentistry, Lahore. He is a PGY1 at Internal Medicine Residency Program, Nazareth Hospital, Philadelphia. So, Dr. Altaf, you have a really fresh perspective given that you were recently matched. Can you please share your experience as to how you were able to obtain US clinical experience? How many like months did you do that? And any practical tips you would like to share with us? Thank you. You need to unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you for having me. First of all, I hope I'm able to contribute positively to this discussion. Yes, Dr. Said, I do have some pointers, having gone through all of this process recently. So I'm going to start by saying the most important thing, in my opinion, is to start early. You know, the sooner you start, the better your chances are into getting a decent clinical exposure, and the better your chances are of getting yourself recommendations from doctors. So different types of USCE hands-on observerships, we know all about them, inpatient and outpatient. Inpatient, in my opinion, have always been really hard to come by, and that's something, personally I've always had trouble with. And my understanding is, especially if you're on a visa, after you graduate med school, you are not allowed to do inpatient and especially hands-on, as what I'm saying in most of the cases in most of the states. So essentially, what you're left with is observerships. What I would say is a lot of the hospitals offer observerships. A lot of the doctors who are part of APPNE, let medical students come and shadow them. So reach out to them super early on, and that's the key. What else I would suggest is, a lot of the programs which residency programs also have observership programs, so apply to them. Reach out to the GME and set yourself up with them and show your interest. If you're a student, there is a platform called VSLO. You can send in your elective applications to different hospitals for hands-on experience, but that's only for students who are currently in med schools. So what I'm going to say is, if you are able to get hands-on experience, that's better than observerships. But if you have observerships, that's also perfect. I would reach out to programs that have that also have residency positions, so they know you firsthand, and you have a better chance of matching there. When you go into the observership or the hands-on experience opportunity, show your interest. Show up early, leave late, ask questions, show your interest, and tell them about your interest, and try and build a rapport with them. So at the end, when you do ask for a recommendation, it's more personalized, it's more suited towards your application, and it actually ends up helping you during your match process. And at the end, I would summarize: network, reach out to the right people, and show your interest, and you got it, you got the rest.
Thank you so much for answering this in such a comprehensive way. I just have a quick question. How many months did you do?
So I did 2 months during my med school. They were electives, and I did 4 months in the US after my med school. So that's one of the other things that I wanted to highlight. Look at the program's websites, residency websites. Some of them, they do require you to have specific number or months of clinical experience. So I would tailor my applications honesty to how they want you to put it in. Like, say, if the program wants 6 months of clinical experience, I would aim for 6 months. Most of them, they want at least 3 months. So essentially, if you have 3 months, you are in the safe zone. But a lot of them also ask for 6 months. So I would try and aim for 6 months. And so I'm able to qualify for the minimum application criteria for those programs. In my case, I did 5 months, but honestly, that's kind of hit and miss with the clinical, any of the clinical experience. They're really hard to come by, and that's why I said, it's super important to start early.
Thank you so much. That was really helpful. Thank you so much, Dr. Altaf. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. And our next panelist is Dr. Rafia Kutab. So Dr. Kutab is a graduate of Fatma Jinnah Medical College. She is a family medicine resident, a physician, and she's director at Rutland Family Health Center, Holden, Mass. She's a clinical instructor at Chan Medical School, and she is also chair liaison committee APPNE. So, Dr. Kutab, it's very important, and we have been asked about these questions, which includes like professional behaviors and decorum expected during your USCE. And can you please share the do's and don'ts that leave a lasting impression on the faculty and the preceptors? So, to you, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Thanks, Maria, for introducing me and, letting me to help these young doctors, and I hope that this will be helpful. This, I was asked to, about the do's and don'ts and the decorum of the observership. First of all, congratulations, to all of you guys. Time to celebrate that you are being offered or in the process of applying to an observership at an institute or in a medical office in USA. There is no denial about it. It is very difficult to get a spot for observership in USA, especially for international medical graduate. So please be very vigilant about it. This is very important, that how you will be carrying yourself during your observership in that institute or in that office. Through this whole experience, you should be able to develop your image as a competent, committed, strong candidate to have a great letter of recommendation. And when you apply for residency to the programs where you did the USCE, if they have a spot in their program, you can get a positive vote there and may have a bright chance to secure a residency spot there. So now let's pay attention to some do's and don'ts. In do's, I would put emphasis to get to know your team, including the staff you will be working with. That is very, very important. Engage in patient care, actively participate in rounds, discussions, and patient care activities. These are very important points. Show intellectual curiosity, ask questions during rounds, and demonstrate a desire to learn. That is also very important. Connect with colleagues and staff. Build relationship with your peers and faculty through casual conversation and interactions. You don't have to be a pro, just like a casual conversation and interactions. Be proactive and reliable. Demonstrate initiative, like take an initiative and responsibility and complete your responsibility, so then you can be a reliable part of the team. Research and understand USCE requirements of your programs where you are doing the observership, as you know that each program has its own specific needs and expectations than other programs. Seek out personalized letter of recommendation, request letter from the preceptor who have directly observed your work and your performance and can speak to your skills. This is very important. Now let's go to the don'ts. And don'ts, I think, are very important more than anything, because that can risk you to have a bad letter of recommendation and grim your chances to have residency spot. So in don'ts, most important, which mostly students, they don't pay attention and they slack about it, is that how to present themselves. Poor self-representation with some time, we don't think important, will cost you a lot. That includes poor self-grooming, bad breath, body odors, stains on shirts, lousy attires, and not wearing closed-toed shoes, which can put you at risk of being unkept person. Being unreliable and not dependable in regards to time, punctuality, showing up late, not showing up without advance notice or approval from your supervisor. So some more don'ts, which are more important, that looking disengaged and not participating actively in discussions. But be mindful about this, that when you participate, don't be disruptive. You should wait for your turn. Avoid to show off your intelligence. You made it. We know that you are intelligent. You did the medical school. You got the observership spot. So now ask intelligent question, but there is no need of showing off your intelligence. Cut off the conversation of others in team. You need to wait to speak once the presenter before you is done talking and then speak up. and try not to make corrections on other presenters' statements. That's also very important. Avoid being busy on your electronic devices like cell phones, laptops, and tablets, unless you are allowed to take notes. Remember one thing which is also very important in this regard, that turn off the ringer off of your cell phone when you are in rounds and in discussions. I would highly recommend avoiding the following: avoiding or ignoring the importance of building relationships with your colleagues and faculty. You need to build a strong relationship with your faculty, with the preceptors, but be very mindful about keeping a personal space. Do not be clingy. Okay, so be patient. Don't slack off or put minimal effort to have a request for strong customized letter of recommendation, which is tailored to your specific experience and accomplishment, because otherwise you will have a generic weak letter of recommendation, which will not make you competitive candidate. Don't be ignorant, but about the fact that the USCE is crucial for international medical graduate seeking residency position and can significantly improve your applications and chance to get a residency spot in USA. Once the observership is completed, do not forget to send personalized thank you emails. It will show your appreciation and create lasting impression of you. Good luck, everyone. You're going to do awesome. And thanks for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kutab, for your great advices, and especially I cannot strongly enough that she body language is very important. So just make sure you are showing interest while you are rotating.
Exactly.
Yes. So, all right. So, our next panelist is Dr. Sadaf Ali. She's a graduate of Fatma Jinnah Medical College, and she's a clinical assistant professor of general psychiatry as well as geriatric psychiatry at Brown University. She is also practicing at Veterans Health Memorial Medical Center and Landmark and Butler Hospital. So, in a similar vein to what Dr. Kutab has mentioned, so Dr. Ali, what specifically can you throw more light as what a rotator can do in order to get a strong letter, as well as when and how to ask for a letter of recommendation, and what are the what tips you would like to share to increase your chances in getting a very personalized and impactful letter of recommendation? So, Dr. Ali.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you all hear me? You can hear me. Very good. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I will say that I'm going to take it from Dr. Rafia. She presented very well how to do the observership, and now this is time for letter of recommendation. So it's basically choosing the right person. I will say you will know better who do you want to get the strong recommendation letter from. You're going to reflect on how your experience has been during your rotation, with who has been, you have shadowed multiple people there, and who do you feel you were most connected, you most benefited from, the person who would be able to write the best for you. So you are going to reach out to that person after choosing the right person. So again, how to ask for the letter, it will be more so, because this is more so a favor, so don't demand, just say that will you be willing to write a letter? Do you know me enough with my rotation with you? I would like to, I had a very good time, learned a lot, and then that will be a request, and you send a very formal request with a thank you note on the bottom. Do it ahead of time. Give it at least 4 to 6 weeks, I will say, so that the person is not overwhelmed by the time, the rush. God forbid if the letter is not there for a week before deadline, do send another kind email about the reminder, but that gives more room to the person. Writing the letter, it definitely requires time, and sometimes people forget about it. So giving more time will be beneficial for both people. So always ask before submitting an individual's name. So getting somebody's permission. So requesting in person while you're ending the rotation, or you can go back to the rotation. It is highly recommended that you request in a face-to-face manner. It brings in a lot of memory for the person who's going to write the letter, and for you too, that you had that discussion before sending a formal email. So you're going to ask, you're going to be face to face, you're going to ask early, you're going to provide necessary material. So the reason for the necessary material, very, very important, because there are many students who are doing the observership. There are many people who the mentor, the teacher, the medical provider, they are seeing on a daily basis. It's just a chaotic, busy day for both sides, I will say. But bringing up some more specific information, what you want in your letter, making a draft, making a personal statement, giving a cover letter. If you have to send too many letters from the same person to different school applications, different residency applications, you just make a folder, put a cover sheet, put a personal statement, put your resume in it, and then you send all these important things. The draft, which you will make, which you will offer as a support to the person, will indicate as a help. It will be like, I can make you a draft about all my experiences with you, and then you can further update the letter. That could be another request. You want to make sure the name and the title of the person is very, very clear, not to write to whom it may concern, or Miss or Mrs. or like that, just because we don't know what they use. The address and the website, you want to put that in the letter too. I will say, also mention a bit of the deadline so that they are well aware. So if I'm receiving a request and I receive it a month before and I don't know about the deadline, there is a little chance, tiny chance, that I may get it delayed. So mentioning about the deadline will be very helpful. Yes, if the recommendation needs it to be mailed, be sure that you are giving the address envelopes and postage stamped with it, so that it's very easy for the other person to go through the steps, quickly go over the draft, copy it, sign it, send it back to you. If it is to be sealed, yes, I will say that don't waive the right to read it. They're not going to write a negative letter because you chose the right person. Don't feel paranoid that they are going to write bad. What if I don't read it? How is it going to look like? So just put your trust in it. Choose the right person who you have the best experience with, who you can count on, and out of the multiple experiences with your different different mentors, you will choose who you feel most comfortable with and the most interactive you have been. I will say, yes, so covering the personal statement, that helps a lot, because you are going to give them a lot of highlights about your experience with them. Be very honest. Highlight the things which you remember and you feel that the person has remembered it too. Anything which makes you unique, highlight it, not to make it too comprehensive, but yes, pearl points, good pearl points. Reference for any specific details you might want in the letter, and you highlight it. Research experiences, leadership, courses taken, that is all in your resume. So when you put it on your personal statement or your letter draft, it makes it easy for the person to highlight what you want in your letter. So that makes it easy. Some people will ask you to write the letter for them, and they will possibly modify it and sign it. So it's all in your hands, how you want the draft to be made. I will say, make sure your recommender receive the email from you, because sometimes the online applications, they are computers. So just a kind reminder. I have just by the end, after you have sent the email, in a couple of weeks, just send a thank you note within a couple of weeks, not making it too late. 1 week to 2 weeks is good. sending a little thank you note for considering to do the recommendation letter. And once the letter of recommendation is mailed out, reached to you, or you know that it has reached where it needs to be reached, you can send another thank you note, and that will be more of a formal wrapping up, indicating that thank you very much for your time and effort, and I will be updating you about my interview. So that means that you are still keeping it open as a conversation. I will say begin now to do the contacts, because you want to know where you want to be in a leadership role, in a volunteer role. You can participate in research. So when you are entering somewhere, you are observing it from a radar, from all your angles, that which person I am going to benefit from the most and can contribute the most to, and where do you connect the most. So counting on that person will be your goal for ahead as soon as you start the observership. So counting on that. I do have a little template which I was going to read out loud for what to write. So I'm applying to such and such program. I would like to know if you feel comfortable writing a strong letter of recommendation on my behalf. I thoroughly enjoyed my time as your extern or intern. I thoroughly enjoyed my time as your extern, as my mentor. I believe you could explain my skills and qualifications working with you very well. I would be able to provide you a draft for my experiences with you all together. I can send, and I will sure send you my personal statement and resume as well. So this will be a formal closing update of the resume. Thank you again for your strong recommendation. I will keep you updated about my interview. So that will be your last email, which will be going after the interview. So this is basically, after your recommendation letter reached you, and now you're just closing it and keeping the doors open to have another conversation once you are done with your interview. So I will say that's all I had to share. If you have any questions, please put in the chat, and then we will be there to answer.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ali, for such an insightful answer, and I really appreciate that. So we'll go ahead and move forward to our next panelist. It is Dr. Syed Ehsan Mahmood Naqvi, also called as Dr. Sam Naqvi. He's a graduate of King Edward Medical University. He's an associate professor at Brown University, assistant professor at New York Medical College. He's also director, hospitalist program, Landmark Medical Center. So, Dr. Naqvi, you are a faculty and you are also involved in the interview process as well as in the match process. So, from that perspective, what makes a USCE and LOR stand out, and what is the importance of length and type of rotation and the value of inpatient versus outpatient rotation?
Thank you, Maria, for it's an absolute pleasure to be here with with all of you. Thank you for this opportunity to express my views here. This probably 5 minutes is not enough, because I did do a little bit of research, but I'm totally going to convey my personal experience and my personal feelings when I was looking at all those more than 3,000 applications. So we started this program. I basically was the pioneer of that. It was started from a scratch, so I know I know what we're doing. I know everybody is anxious to get into the program, but there are 3,000 applications. You have so many spots. But anyway, I'll break up it in two, as Maria asked me to do, for a letter of reference and what I'm looking for as a director into that, and a United States clinical experience. So I'll try to be brief, but try and cover all the aspects. So first of all, the letter of reference. So imagine I told you there are more than 3,000 applicants. How do you pick it up? So I'm just going to highlight a few important things which you guys need to know when you're submitting your application. First of all, the letter of reference alone is not going to win you a residency spot, but it has quite a bit of a positive effect, and it could be just a wild card, but at the same time but its negative impact is huge. So you got to avoid all that. So let's go to the next step. What type of letter of recommendations that we see when we are looking at the application? That there are generally three types. One is a highly recommending. The second one is average or business like. And the third one, which highlights, which gives you some information, but does highlight a little bit of a poor performance of the candidate. So the second one, average or business like, are the most common ones, but the one with the poor performance are very rare, but they are there. So do not think that nobody will write on a bad thing about the candidate. Do not think that. It's rare. They try and avoid it, but you don't know what kind of mood that person is and what did other people feed about you. So you got to be very careful. I'll talk about that a little bit more. Highly recommending ones are not that common, but when they come, they have a big impact. So they the second thing is that remember, because these are so many applications, and then how the APDs and the program directors, they look at them, they scan them quickly. So it's like you are standing by the side of a pool or a pool, and you're looking for the fish. So which one is looking more colorful? And then you go for that. But there are thousands of fish in there. So they scan, they read in the middle, and just here and by they just scan on each side. So whatever. So your letter of reference has to be something that can immediately catch the attention. So it shouldn't be a business like, it shouldn't be a boring story. Oh, I was born there and I went there, I did school and all that. Some people start with the dramatic event of their life, but do not, while you're trying to project yourself, but do not try to be portray yourself as the greatest person in whole. Try to portray yourself as a human being who is anxious to learn and learn and move on from there and grow. So these are the important things. But anyway, there are a few other things. There shouldn't be just one letter of reference. It should preferably be 2 to 3 letter of reference, and they shouldn't all be coming from the same. So once you get 3 letters, 4 letters, 5 letters coming from the same hospital, you start to think, didn't this person get anyone else work with is there any other view from other hospital or some other person? So try and mix and match them and not from the same person. The next important thing is the profile of the person who is writing a letter of reference, and the institution is it does make a difference. So if there's a letter from a program director, it means more. To be honest, I hate to say this, but even it means even more than an APD writing a letter. So program director writing a letter, or a big professor of the university, or somebody who's writing that, or somebody who is very famous in that in one of the specialities or something, they are writing those letters. So that's quite important. uh, you may not be able to get them, but if you can request them and just concentrate on them. I will give you an example. There was a candidate from Africa, and a letter of reference was written by the president of that country, and we were all startled. So why would a president write a letter? And in fact, it was a letter written by president. He was not even a doctor. He was not even medically related, but it did catch the attention of. But I'm not suggesting that you make your senators or your assembly members, especially if you're applying for Pakistan. Unfortunately, nobody knows them, and their profile is not as big as they projected in the own country, despite going into all the discussion. But I'm saying that don't think that assembly members or parliamentarians or those people, if they are famous for some achievement, worldwide achievement, yeah, that's fine, fair enough. But the profile of the person writing, and if they write a good letter about you, it does make a difference. So the best ones are from program directors and from the professors. Most of the people will able to get, and those who have done that. So the other thing is that how to get them. I've already my colleagues have already spoken about that, but just briefly I will touch on that. One thing I will say that any negative comment in a letter of reference is not good at all. It's a bad news. So I had recently last one. I'm not naming anybody or doing anything. That candidate was so good in interview and everything, but that somebody who wrote the application wrote the letter of reference, just wrote down this person didn't come in time, and it was he had I heard about some bad behavior on this applicants that was killing, and none of I'm not putting myself, but nobody was though in interview that candidate was very good, good English, good speaking, good knowledge and everything, high scores. It just they refuse to do that. So negative comment has a very bad impact. So try and avoid. How to avoid is already been discussed by my colleagues, and I thank you very much for that. But generally, there shouldn't be anything like going late or coming back, laziness, or any problem, any political talk, or any comments on religion or politics or law, or any trouble with the law enforcement, or behavior, personal attitude, arguing with people, or not coming late and leaving early, and not presenting. So try and be nice, gentle person, and present early. Present, take active part, but do not interfere. But this has already been done, so I just wanted to touch on that. So if there's any questions on this, you can ask me. But I just want to, because I'm running out of time. Maria told me I've only got 5 minutes. I think I probably nailed that. So United States clinical experience, it is very important. I would say, as a program director, as APD, I basically look for it. Did they work in United States in any capacity? What kind of experience? Inpatient, outpatient. It could be a scribe. It could be a research project. It could be an uh, speaker at a medical conference or a seminar, or you are, even if you have nothing, you can write down, I attended these if you have nothing else to tell. But the best, in my personal experience, when I look for it, I look for inpatient experience is probably the best one if you can arrange it. The second best probably is an outpatient. If nothing else, if the third one, or maybe at par with them, could be a research, if you have actually taken part in research in United States itself. So it should have a good comprehension of English. It's an English speaking country, so you'll be interacting. The reason they look at it is not because it's some kind of personal ego or something. The reason is because the patients you will be coming across will be English speaking, because it's an English speaking country. So you should be able to, and then you present yourself. And you should be doing a case presentation during the rounds. Okay, so a few more other things before I uh, if you when you're going to ask for a letter of reference, it should be from the program supervisor, and it needs to substantiate, because you say, okay, I worked in there, and there's no LOR to substantiate it that you actually worked there. One thing I would say, please pardon me if I'm too blunt about it. Please do not write down false claim when you're asking for a letter of reference, in a letter of reference, or about your clinical experience, because they somehow or other they find out. Recently somebody wrote down, I worked in inpatients and I used to do a 10 round, but it didn't match with the reference letter they asked from that person, and it turned out that that person was actually not doing the inpatient, because they went and tried and find out, they phoned around. Do not please, what you haven't done, do not write it, because they will find out. I mean, it's common sense. It doesn't make any sense, it doesn't fit together. So whatever you've done, do. If you haven't done anything, just write down, I attended a seminar, I attended a medical reference, and I would be doing that. But that's needed. Okay, so um, there shouldn't be any discrepancy between your claim of the United States experience or the letter of reference or somebody, or do not write anything which you haven't done. it's actually killing. Is if they find out, they're not going to give the job. So the other thing is that the type of specialties I was asked to comment on. If you're applying for internal medicine residency, so internal medicine residencies are important. If you're done in a general surgery or other things, if you have nothing else, fine, you can write down that. But basically, they're looking for the specialties. They are basically which make more impression, are the cardiology, neurology, nephrology, even oncology. But they should be clinical, and they should be it should you can have an experience in basic sciences, for example genetics, but it won't have the same impact. I mean, if you have nothing else, just put it there. But if you have a cardiology experience and a genetic experience, put the cardiology first, or the endocrinology, or whichever you're doing. Genetics is a second or at the end. So those are the specialty. But if you're applying for a family medicine residency, okay, you can say about gynae experience or a pediatric, because they do it. But there's no point in writing them in internal medicine residency application. And length of duration, how long should you do? Somebody already answered this, about 6 months. But in my experience, sometimes because of the financial issues, because of not everybody can afford it. But if you have a clinical chance of a clinical experience, please do it like at least 4 weeks at least. And maximum you can go 2 to 3 months is fine. 6 months is great, but do not do like I worked for 2 years in that specialty in United States. Then, because when you say 1 year or 2 year, then the next question comes: why couldn't you get the residency then? For 1 year you were doing that, and you didn't. Nobody accepted you in the residency program, so that can be a problem. If you do more than 6 months, do it in two places or two different ones, 6 months each. But please do not let it go for a long period, because then other questions start to arise: why this person is doing and they're not giving it a good reference, why this person is not getting matched. So I think uh, that's pretty much it. If you have any, oh, one more thing. So always highlight your experience with the EMR, like electronic medical record system is very important, because this is one of the questions I used to ask. So how much experience or your experience is with the electronic medical record system, which are being used in America? There are multiple here, but I think the Epic EPIC, this is very common, and is most of the hospitals, they have turned to it. And if you've done an Epic, please highlight it, that I used to I got used to this system. So electronic medical record system, you have to excuse me, somehow you have to tell that I do have an experience of that. So this is something that can be important. You can use a scribe. Say, for example, you were a scribe for somebody, it's a good experience, you can tell it. Then you can tell, but you say that the system we were using was this one, and this is an American system, and I have. Because at the end of the day, you want to come and work here, and you're telling that I will get into this system as soon as possible, and I won't have any. I'll have a smooth transition. I'll have no problem. So thank you so much. I think I've tried to cover most of the things. Anything left? Any more burning questions? Please feel free to ask me. Not even now, but afterwards. Send me an email, or ask Maria, or ask somebody in this, to communicate it to me, and I'll be happy to answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Naqvi, for such a detailed answer. That was really helpful. And I think we also answered some of the questions which were in the chat too. So that's great. So moving on to our next panelist is Dr. Mohammad Fateh Shahzad. He's a graduate of King Edward Medical University. He also is an internal medicine physician at Ephraim McDowell Health, Danville, Kentucky. He's also board of trustees at Camkhana USA. He's the chair of Camkhana Foundation, Pakistan. He also is a visa liaison at APPNE. So, Dr. Shahzad, because of your expertise, experience in that, what are the visa and immigration implications, including what is the typical documentation needed for electives, observerships, and what are the tips for navigating, especially during this time of current regulatory climate, and where to turn for trustworthy guidance? So to you.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum everybody, and thank you Dr. Maria Sayyed and APPNE for arranging this important webinar. Can you hear me all okay? Good. So I will briefly talk about the B1, B2 visa because that's going to be the visa required by students and medical graduates for electives and observership. So B1, B2 visa is a tourist visa or a business visa. If you are part of a family, like sometime a parent applies for a tourist visa and the kids can get B2 visa, they cannot come and do elective or observership. So just be careful. If you have a B2 visa, it's not good for electives or observership. You need a B1/B2 visa. B2 is basically dependent of a B1, which can be parent and accompanying child or adult. It can be a spouse. So it's very important. Now, next question is who needs B1/B2 visa? It can be a medical student do elective. It can be a medical graduate when you're coming to do observership. And it can be a graduate when you're coming to do interview for residency. Sometime residency interviews done in person even these days, although most of interviews are virtual. Let's talk about the requirement for B1, B2. B1 for students, like you are fourth year final student and you want to do elective. So what you need is a letter from the dean that you are a student, and then transcript from your previous years, and then one sponsorship letter from whoever is going to sponsor you. Being a student, you're not supposed to be paying for your own trip to USA. So it can be your parent, parent may be mother or your father, your elder brother, your sister, your aunt, uncle, or anybody can sponsor you for your trip. It's okay if the sponsor is in USA, like you might have an elder sister or brother who's living in USA. So it's not a red flag that why somebody from USA can sponsor you. You're adult, you do not really qualify for immigration. So any your aunt, uncle, or your brother can sponsor you. So a lot of time people ask me question, if somebody sponsor me from USA, is it a red flag? No, it's not a red flag. So what sponsor needs to do, how sponsorship works. So you need to have a person who has a source of income and then document to prove source of income. Somebody has a job working as a doctor in a university or a professor. So there should be a salary slip coming to bank account. And then there should be enough saving in the bank account for your trip to sponsor. They can be making $1 million rupees a month, but if they don't have in their bank account, then it's not going to work. So you need a sponsor, a person who's sponsoring you a source of income, proof for source of income, and then savings in the account. Now, for how long those savings should be? Around 6 months at least, not like you deposit the money yesterday and you're going for an interview today. That might not be helpful. And how much money you need? Roughly, I say 5 lakh rupees for 1 month rotation. So it's 2 month rotation, 1 million rupees, 3 months rotation. You should have 1.5 million. So that's a good number. Plus, of course, your ticket price that varies from time of the year you are planning to. And if you can get an affidavit, like it can be your father. So your father will say on a stamp paper that my daughter or my son name is going to go for electives in this university approximately in July of 2025. I have saved 1.5 million rupees for the visit and I have in my bank account. So I will be able to lend or let my son use those funds. And that should be actually notarized. So that becomes a legal document that your father will really give you money. In USA, notarized document affidavit is very valuable. Just your word might not be enough that my father will give me money. Then you need a letter of invitation, and please do not use the word of visa letter when you request any attending or a program director or anybody. Do not ask for a visa letter. People don't like that word, and they get annoyed why a person needs visa letter. Just say, I need an invitation letter that I'm allowed to work or observe or do electives in this program starting this date to this date under supervision of this person. So those are important. Your name, date, start, end date, location, and your supervising physician. And it should be signed. And it's better if it is on a letterhead pad. Unsigned or email do not carry that much value in front of the visa officer. So then other category comes the graduates, people who come for observership. So on B1, B2, you are only allowed to do observe, not have hands-on training. In electives, you're a student, you're going to work as other medical students, you are allowed to do hands-on training, examine the patient, look at records, take history, but in observership, you're only observing your supervising physician. So from visa standpoint, you should always keep that you're going to not have hands-on training. And do not mention that in your CV, because if you go back for a second visa or J1, H1 visa, and on your CV say that while you were there on B1 visa, you did hands-on training, that will be considered illegal. So you might have a problem in next time you have a visa, can be B1 or J1, H1. So for graduates, what you need, of course, I always recommend that to complete your house job, and having a permanent medical license is a tie. Like any other tie, at this age, being a medical student, fresh graduate, you might not have many ties like your property or bank balance. So what tie you have is your license to practice medicine in your own country. If you do not even have a license to practice medicine in your own country, if you're coming for a visa interview for another country, the officer will think you're not coming back because you don't even have a license to practice in your own country. You don't have a job, you don't have a potential to get a job. So it's very important that you do a house job and have a PMDC permanent license, not a temporary license. Same thing is for people coming for step 3. Step 3 is a licensing exam. Many times, visa officer has denied step 3 interview or visa for step 3 because you do not have your PMDC license. And their comments were, you don't have a license in your own country and you're applying for a license in USA because step 3 is a licensing exam. It's not a residency exam. So you will need a house job and a PMDC license if you're coming as a graduate. Letter from if you're working in the US, in Pakistan, sorry, as a medical officer in a private or government setting, so you need to have a letter that this person is working at this place with salary in good standing, all those kind of letter that will be considered as a tie. If you don't work, of course, you don't have a letter. Please do not make up letter because sometimes visa officer do call the hospitals or your employer. So don't be fooled by just writing it that I work as a medical officer at Umar Clinic. They might call them. So, and if you are found lying on your paper or in front of visa officer, you're banned for lifetime for any visa. So it's very, very important that you do not make up anything when it comes to the visa. Then you need an invitation letter from wherever you are going to that will have same component that you are going to start observership, this state to this state location under the supervising physician name, attending name. It can be clinic, it can be in a hospital setting. It does not matter for the visa purpose, but the electives needs to be in a hospital, university hospital where there is a residency program and other medical student come. I'm talking about it from visa standpoint. It might have a different role in your as an LOR, but purely visa standpoint, it has to be elective in a university program with a residency program. So, then you will need a sponsorship letter like elective, similar requirements. If you have a job, you can tell the officer that I have a job, I make 100,000 rupees a month, I have saved 200,000 rupees, it's not enough. Then I've asked my mother or my father, who is a doctor, who is a school teacher, whatever there is, and he was kind enough to let me borrow money. In USA, taking money from parents is not very good. It's a kind of a taboo that if you are a doctor and you're still taking money from your parent. So if you can say that I'm working, I'm saving money, so that shows that you are a responsible person. You have a commitment, you have a passion, and you are borrowing money from your parents, your uncle, your aunt, your friend, and then you plan to return whenever you can. Again, if you might not have a plan to return, but it's good to show this intent that you are not just a dependent person, you are an honorable person, and you are a responsible person. So these are the things that you need for B1, B2. I will talk a little bit about what not to do and what can cause problem in future for your B1, J1, H1. Recently, I'm going through this new resident who matched this year. 8 J1 visas have been denied just because they stayed longer duration. So you need to understand that, as Dr. Naqvi said, you might need just one good month of training or observership or elective. You don't need 12 months of elective. I give example, one resident who's incoming resident whose visa was denied stayed 20 months in last 2 years doing electives or observership or step 3. So the officer asked, why did you stay 20 months? And same as Dr. Naqvi said, it's a negative for your program where you're applying for a residency, the why you needed 20 months of training in USA. The same thing is negative for future visa because the officer will think you must be working there. Another person who's not only B1 visa was revoked, but he was actually questioned when he was leaving USA in the plane. So the one of the air hostess came that we have somebody who wants to talk to. And those were the custom officers. So they came and talked and asked why you were staying here for 5 months and 29 days. Because I-94 allows you 180 days. So he stayed like 179 days. Now this guy was working as a scribe and getting paid. So his visa was revoked and he will never be able to get J1 visa. So all his career is gone. So you need to be very, very careful what to do, what not to do. What I recommend, do not stay more than 3 months. If you come for electives, elective is usually 1 month, and then you can do 2 more months of observership. Maximum you can do 1 more month for step 3, and that should be all. You should stay either 1 time or 2 visits or 3 visits. Staying more than 4 months is kind of a red flag from a visa standpoint. Of course, you're not supposed to work when you are here. You're not supposed to be doing anything like taking part in protest. These days, they're being really focusing on anti-Israel protest or any kind of your comments. So you have to make sure your social media is clean of any protests, any statements. It can be your statement, it can be somebody else who posted. So you have to be very careful. I recommend people who are going for a visa, they should hold on to their social media, like they can put a some kind of hold that nobody can put any post on your Facebook page, because the State Department developed is artificial intelligence based program. They can scan your social media in 5 seconds, all social media, even if you allow them or don't allow them. So if any post against Israel, against Jewish people, any against Trump administration policies, so your visa will be denied. So you need to be very, very careful. I will be available for questions and answers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shehzad. There are a couple more. What are the H4, restrictions for visa, and what about the point of contact in US if you don't have a relative in US?
So you said H4? Yeah, H4 is a dependent visa. Like if you are H1 is the primary applicant, and your spouse, your children can be H4. So those are dependent, and you're mostly whoever applied, put petition on your behalf, attorney can do for H4 also. H4 will require a separate DS-160, which is application for visa interview, and they have to go and do a visa interview. Can go along with H1. Sometime a resident who is in USA gets married, they go back to Pakistan, and their spouse needs H4. So H4 can go either with H1 or can go with on its own, but they do need a visa interview as well. Sometime if H1 gets married in USA and the other person is on B1, they can do change in category from B1 to H4 or B1 to even J1. Only category which is not cannot be done within US is J2. J2 cannot convert into J1 or H1, that kind of stuff. Other part of your question is point of contact. Point of contact can be your friend, family member, your even your attending who is going to do your observership. So the point of contact is best just for emergency purpose. Something happens to you while you're here, who they should contact. People can have accident, you can die, something can happen, so somebody needs to be contacted. That's what it can be, anybody. There's no restriction. In when you're applying for visa, the point of contact in Pakistan cannot be your family member. So in USA can be anybody, your family member, your friend, or the program director. While for J1 and H1, or can be the attending you are doing observership or electives with.
Thank you so much for answering our questions. It was really, really helpful. And we actually have like a lot of questions regarding that, so we will go ahead and discuss that in our question and answer session. I actually would like to have Dr. Zedi talk again because we had a poor reception, and we will share his slides as well because a lot of people have been asking about that. Dr. Khutab also has a quick tip at the end before the question and answer session. So I would like Dr. Zedi, can you please go ahead and unmute yourself, and then we'll go ahead and share your slides as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Shahzad.
Thank you.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, much better.
Is it better than last time?
Yes.
I hope. Okay, so let's just go through the slides very quickly because I think most of you guys have really done a really good job. I myself have learned a lot with what you guys have been talking about. So can we show the slides, Dr. Khutab, by any chance?
Yes, just getting that right.
So in the meantime, and the slides will come up briefly, where I left was that, in order to find the right observerships and the right internships in the US, the biggest resource are your colleagues, your friends, the people who have came before you. In this time, it has been very easy in the time where the WhatsApp and the Facebook is available, is to find the resources of which physicians are giving the observerships and where, and what physicians are doing what, and depending upon their own experiences and the letter of recommendation. One of the biggest resource which we have seen usually comes from the alumni group. I have seen the Ghana alumni has been working really hard with Gulrez, doing a lot of work along with the central APPNE YPC in placing people with different physicians. What APPNE have been doing with Dr. Maria Saeed and other people, they have an email, and that email will be part of the presentation that will be shared with you guys. If you guys are looking for observerships, that would be a really good resource. Email them, and they can get you some good rotations in the New England area. Regarding our own YPC rotations, which is the APPNE South Texas chapter, which actually covers South Houston, actually cover all of Houston and the surrounding of the Houston area. We are offering a lot of rotations. We are some inpatient, most of them are outpatients, internal medicine, psych, family practice, ER, some inpatient rotation with the hospitalist, surgery, general surgery, pathology, named few, pediatrics, and we have been offering those rotations all over the Houston area. We do have an APPNE house for if people who are interested in. We do have an APPNE house, and people who are interested in staying there. It's a very subsidized housing. Last year, we housed almost around 60 applicants over there. And that APPNE house is very close to most of the rotations which APPNE, STC, YPC offer. So, a lot of people, what they do is they stay together in the APPNE house, and they take an Uber in the morning, all of them together to one place. There's actually a complex, it's called Dow Complex. It's very interesting. One of the old Dow graduate made this physician complex. It's called Dow, and it has like 7 or 8 different physicians who are practicing there, and then most of the rotations are there. So that's very convenient. So the application and for the email contact for the APPNE STC YVC will also be in my in the presentation which I gave to Dr. Saeed. APPNE YPC, I was talking to Dr. Hurram Siddiq Hurram. He was mentioning me that the Facebook is the best way to contact them. They're sometimes not able to answer all the thousands of emails they get, but the Facebook page is one of the best resources to contact them. In my slide, you will see I have breakdown on what you really want to write when you're looking for the internships. If I have to remember, so the most important thing is you need to explain yourself. You need to have to introduce yourself, who you are what area you are graduating from, what medical school you went to, what your visa status is, and what are you really looking out of the observership. Are you looking for, you're definitely looking for letter of recommendations. We all know that. But what else type of USC experiences you're looking for, inpatient, outpatient, and whatnot. Also try to search a little bit of the mentor you are writing your letter of intent, your letter of interest to let them feel like, okay, you have searched them out. Hey, listen, Dr. XYZ, I know you have been practicing cardiology, nephrology, GI in this place. You have been an associate program director, professor. I'm very interested in working with you, this, and that. So that should be, I think, it should be part of the letter of interest when you're writing that email to those things. As Dr. Shahzad have said, as APPNE STC YPC, I hate to say this, we used to give letter to the people to rotate with us, and they will take that to the embassy, get the visa, and don't show up. So we have decided not to write any visa letters to anyone. You will get a letter telling that, hey, listen, this is where you will be practicing or you're doing your observership, but that's the only thing that STC we're gonna be writing for that. Regarding the scam versus paid observerships, it's an ongoing topic, even in Houston chapter for us. I just want to say, I think all the paid rotations are not a scam, and all the free rotations are not good also. That's how I say, just so talk to your colleagues who have rotated with different physicians who are either doing paid rotations or not, and see what their experiences are. I have seen some physicians who have an argument about, hey, listen, I would like to give a paid rotation because I'm putting my time in there, and it's not a whole lot of money I'm charging, and there are people who are charging $2,000 and $3,000, Pakistani physicians who are charging $2,000 and $3,000 for the rotations, which can be all justifiable as long as you get what you need from that rotation. APPNE YPC charges a small amount of money for the application process to put you with different physicians. All the physicians I've heard who have been working for APPNE YPC, they don't charge any money extra. For APPNE STC, which is the APPNE Houston local chapter, we don't charge anything for application or any other, none of the physicians charge the money. So yes, the biggest resource for you guys are your friends, your colleagues, your seniors who have gone through the same process of what you have been going through. And just go through the slides, and if you have any questions, just please ask.
All right, thank you
Thank you.
so much. That was really helpful. And so we have shared these slides. They were really helpful. So I think we'll go ahead and move on. Thank you so much, Dr. Zedi, for making these slides and giving your comprehensive answer. In order to avoid scams, what to do?
Well, I always feel like talking to your seniors. As I mentioned, not all the paid rotations are a scam, and not all the free rotations are real. Um, you know, um, so most of the physicians the simple way is, when you go through Dogana, Apna YPC, or any other 501c company, or like APPNE, what you guys are doing over here and what we are doing here, it is very difficult to go through a scam process. So if you go um, through an organization, KMCiana is doing an amazing job. Alama Iqbal, SMCNs, they are all doing great. They're all offering all the YPC positions these days. So if you go through your alumni, or you go through Central Apna YPC, or you go through local chapter YPC like APNE and Apna STC, that's the best way to avoid any scams. Otherwise, talk to your seniors, talk to your about that physician. Everything is online. I know about few scams, and I can tell you, if when people Google out certain names on internet, they get Reddit reviews. So it's all out there.
All right, thank you so much. That was really good. So, all right, we will go ahead and Dr. Rafia Kutab has some tips to share. Thank you, Dr. Zedi. So, moving on to Dr. Kutab.
Yeah, you know what? I just wanted to say something about here that is also very relative to it, that we all have our own offices, and all the time we are getting these emails. Or like when you go into the community and some mom will approach to you, or some your friends, and they said that my son or my daughter, they are applying to medical school and they need the rotations, and beta, come over here, auntie will help you, and this kind of stuff. And then what will happen, that if suppose we take them, and I have medical student coming from UMass, I do the precept, but those medical students are so involved and they know the routine and they know the decorum, but these kids are coming because auntie took them, they don't want to show up, or they will come late, and then they want their parents to call me and say we need a very strong letter, so that put us in a very difficult spot. And I think that we all need to learn this one thing, that it should be a fairness to everything. And if this kid really wants to go to a medical school, or applying the medical school, should be committed, should be following the decorum of the observership or the externship, or the, wherever he or she wants to be joining the team, he should be the team player and she should be a team player. And parents should not be calling aunties and uncles to get the strongest letter of recommendation. So that's one thing very important. Then the second thing about in their letter of recommendation, when they say we worked like 300 hours or 400 hours, that is something that we all are in a, like last 25-30 years, we are in the medical field over here, and we know that when a child is, or a student is writing those hours in that letter, is it corresponding the what, that hospital, or if we call them or something, it is very easy to tell. It is very easy to find out, there was really 300 or 400 hours or not. So we need to be very truthful about it, whatever we are writing to request, or what we are writing to apply, So those are the two things I really wanted, that over here is nothing to do with that, like coming from Pakistan. Even from Pakistan, we get emails that auntie, get this, my daughter or my, son into your office, So please, you guys, if suppose you get in there, auntie took you or uncle took you there, be a very mindful, team player there.
Thank you so much. Actually, yes, I think we all like resonate with what you are actually saying. So yes, professionalism is really important while rotating. So yeah, please keep this in your mind because it will severely impact your letter of recommendation. All righty. So thank you, Dr. Kutal. We are actually running short. I'm going to go ahead and discuss few questions which are mentioned. So Dr. Kutab and I would be taking a few questions. We'll rotate that. I have written down some of them which were in the chat. So one was how to find programs which are IMG friendly as well as the programs who take IMG international medical graduates for rotation. Is there a list which we can see? Is there somebody we can ask? Who to ask that? Any of the panelists, please? Dr. Zaidi?
We can unmute them.
You just need to, I might.
So, APPNE, YPC, and APPNE STC have the list of the mentors who are able to, you can work with, and so does APPNE have it. Regarding the residency programs which are offering it, I don't know exactly if there's a list for that or not. I don't have the answer. Maybe Dr. Naqvi, as he is a program director, may be able to put some light on it. But the APNA YPC, APNE YPC, and APNA STC YPC have definitely the list of the mentors, and you can request the rotations you want, and we can adjust it accordingly.
Thank you so much for answering. Dr. Kutab, do you have any question to ask? I have few. Yeah.
I don't think so right now, Yeah.
Okay.
I think Dr. Fateh wants to say something.
Yeah.
So regarding the IMG friendly program, so we keep a record of all the matched resident in the last year. So we share that with the next year. So we will have a WhatsApp group for incoming applicants for 2026 match. So we will share that list where the last year all Pakistani resident match. So that will be more Pakistani friendly programs. So we always share with the incoming residents.
Perfect. There will be a website. Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Kutab.
So how as Dr. Maria was saying, that would there be a website or would there be a WhatsApp group or would there be a local chapters of APNA will be getting the list? How that would be?
I will explain how it works and how coordinated we are. So we right now we already have a WhatsApp group and it's like 300 members who are going to apply for next year match. So we start guiding them how to do their CVs, how to do their personal statement, and then we share that list multiple times with those incoming residents. Like last year we had 1,876 applicants. So once that they go through that process, then there's a new group, WhatsApp group, which is only for those who are invited for interviews. And then after that stage, we have a WhatsApp group for those who get matched. And then there's a WhatsApp group who go into SOAP. Then there's a WhatsApp group of those who go into administrative processing or visa refusal. So each step by step we handle that. And these WhatsApp group are maintained for years. Like I still have the 2019 match group. So they kind of talk with each other. They're going to go fellowship. They're going for a waiver job. And so that's kind of provide them a source of communication with each other. So I've been doing that for the last 10 years. So it's still working very well.
So Dr. Fateh, how are we gonna get the all the local chapters of APNA? These are the peripheries of APNA. How we can get that list too, so we can, also share, and we will be mindful about it. Suppose if somebody reach out to us, so we have that list. So we will be able to use it.
So I can share with the all chapters, inshallah.
That would be so helpful. Yeah, that will be helpful. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. So we'll take a couple more questions before we conclude our program. We just have like so many. Thank you for all your interest. There was somebody who actually mentioned that they are an old graduate and who has worked in OBGYN and general medicine for 2 years, but she is a green card holder, and there's a gap in between. So does she wait and get US clinical experience, or should she just go ahead and apply? Like, because she's an older graduate, so year of graduation also like a matter. So any of panelists, Dr. Naqvi, would you like to talk about that?
So if there's a candidate who has done it a while ago, the gaps they always ask explanations about the gaps. The best thing is to find a reason uh, uh, why you didn't work during that time. The best possible thing to say is for personal or family matters, but an explanation will always be needed and it should be put down. And if you worked in gynae before and medicine as well, probably select a specialty which entertains both. For example, family medicine will be probably a better choice for them, but you can go for medicine because you worked in medicine, so you want to choose it as the final one. But always remember, find out, discuss with people what kind of explanation you can give. For girls who had babies or something else, they can always say that my baby was young and I couldn't have done at the time, or there were some family matters. If something else happened in the family, I don't want to say that, but if any bereavements or something else, then you can always say that there were some issues that precluded. So an explanation which makes sense to somebody will be, and most of the time you can get away with it. So that's all I can say right now.
Can I add something, Dr. Maria?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. I'm not academic, whatever students. I'm not in a program, but from the recent experience from other resident who did match or who did not match, most of the program do have filters. So year of graduation might get filtered and your application might not even be looked at. Uh, then what one girl did, she had similar story. She was working as OBGYN. So she did find a research job in the field of OBGYN, and she got familiar with the program, and she actually did match last year in the OBGYN. So I will recommend that this person who had a question has a green card. She should look for a research job so that she can get familiar to know the people in the program, and that filter system might not go against her. Once they know, they might offer her out of match, or they might at least consider her for the interview.
Thank you so much. Dr. Kutab, do you have any question?
Yes, sure. This question is for Dr. Naqvi. The student who are going to, working in the volunteer clinics, over here, and they go and they, participate in the volunteer clinics and get the hours. Okay. Those, how it looks on their application, the volunteer work, working in a volunteer clinic.
So any work in any of the institution, including rehab or nursing homes or volunteer clinics, is actually helpful in the thing, because do show that that you are in the medical field and you're not wasting your time, and you're utilizing that time while you're applying for the residency for something useful. I'll give you one example. There was a candidate which we selected 3 years ago. She came from Albania, and she didn't have a she was applying for residency all over and she wasn't getting selected. But then what happened, that COVID came and she offered herself. She went out, start helping in the volunteer group, and she went to the hospital in the and then she was helping all those when no one else was ready to come, she said, okay, I will do it. And then what happened at the end, that all those medical students, medical and the interns and residents, they went themselves without even she asking her, to the program director to shortlist at least this girl. She was given a preliminary, and then she became and now she's a dermatologist. She's I think Maria knows about it, Elidona, and she's in Ohio, and she's working as a rheumatologist. Now, Maria helped her a lot. Thank you so much for that. But this is an example. So working in volunteer groups always help. As long as, you can show some medical connection, it'll definitely help. And anywhere, even in rehab, even in nursing homes, just do something.
Thank you. Thank you. So a continuation of this question to Dr. Fateh. So once somebody is visiting United States, okay, and then they find a volunteer work in a volunteer clinic, would it be something not going according to their visa, or would there be a penalty on it, or how it goes?
So just to understand that anybody who gets B1 visa is allowed to stay for 180 days as per their I-94 records. But if you request in your visa application, suppose you're applying for a visa B1 and you requested officer that I need to do 2-month observership, or I'm going for step 3 and 1 observership. So they specifically ask you during when you fill application, how many days. So you put suppose 2 months, but you got another observership. So you go to for interview and you tell the visa officer that initially I was planning to do step 1 and 1 observership, but I got an opportunity to do another observership. So they might grant you a 3-month period of time. But then you got another observership after your interview. It can be 1 observership, 2, 3. I will just give. After your interview is done, you get another observership. Then next step is coming to the immigration officer. When you come here, so you have interview with the immigration officer. You can request that I was planning to do step 1, but got an opportunity to do observership. If you kindly allow me to stay here for longer time, then they might say it's okay, you can stay 6 months. But if he says verbally, he says okay, 6 months, yeah, then literally you can stay 6 months. But if the officer does not say that you can stay 6 months or 4 months, say no, you requested 2 months, you should better stay 2 months. But your I-94 record will still say 180 days. So I highly recommend that you do finish your work in 2 months and go back. Because as I said, other 8 residents so far denied their visa, not just administrative process, refused their visa because of the same reason. They stayed longer than what they stayed. So it's very important. They're paying more and more for. Now, one girl this year went for B1 visa for step 3. And it's actually written on the visa stamp that she can do 1 month, going 1 month for step 3 in Alabama. Now they're getting so specific. So then this girl asked me a question. I found an observership. Can I do? I said, please don't do it. It says on your visa, you're going for step 3. Then she said, can I do somewhere else? I said, don't do that. It's very specific and it's not common. But if they put you specific on the visa stamp that you're coming here for 1 month for step 3 in Alabama, then don't do anything. Even if your I-94 record says you can stay 180 days. So they're getting even one girl from Turkey. I got through somebody a message from her. She was denied for the same reason in Turkey, that visa. So they're getting very strict about it. So I know it's financially it's easy to come and then just stay 6 months, so you don't have to travel back and forth. But please don't do it. It can cause problem for next year or next time.
You want to be here for long term doing residency, so don't, kind of damage yourself by doing that,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
I
Maya.
have one more. Thank you, Dr. Khattab. So I have one more question for Dr. Shahzad. Can you share the link for the WhatsApp group, which you were actually mentioning? And is there like a 2026 match applicant group? Dr. Altaf or Dr. Shahzad or anybody else who know about that? Can you share the link?
You're talking about the link for the 2026 match?
Yes.
But I will send with on the WhatsApp group and you can share here. And then I did share on the group those 26 program where most of Pakistani did get matched this year. So, and I have shared a link. Again, I have no monetary gain for that WhatsApp, sorry, the YouTube channel webinar. It is very helpful. It's 3-hour webinar just on B1, B2, and there's so many questions answered. So those who are interested to watch that webinar, they should, because it's lengthy and answers almost all questions. You can imagine it's 3-hour program.
Wow.
It's a fund of all the visas, there, all the
No,
resources.
that's only on B1, B2. We have separate on J1 and H1 through the APPNE YPC. We do it every year, so those recordings are available. But this is only B1, B2.
Yeah, you guys are doing an awesome job there.
Thank you, thank you.
Welcome.
And then we can actually definitely, if you are interested, we can share the list which Dr. Shahzad is will be sharing to us. You can email it at APPNE, APPNE 1947 at gmail.com. And then we'll be happy to. And then you can also contact APNA YPC STC chapter as well, or Dr. Shahzad as well. But we'll be happy to help you out in that. I want to actually conclude our session, and I wanted to ask our panelists: is there any like a one advice you want to give to the candidates, to the attendees before we actually finish this off? We will also be recording this, and then we'll go ahead and post it on the APNA YPC as well as APNE website. So alrighty, so why don't we go ahead and start with Dr. Salman Altaf. Can you go ahead and give your any one advice you want to give to the candidates?
Yes, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Start early. I would highly recommend using the residencyexplorer.org website. Look for the programs that your profile aligns with. Do not go for like the generic program lists for IMGs. Match your program to your profile and work towards that.
Thank you so much for your tip. Dr. Mansoor Zaidi, do you have any tip, one tip to share?
Well, if I have to say, am I mute, or can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So if I have to say one thing, I just say earn it. Okay. You guys have done. You guys have already done what you did. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Most of you guys have already got the visas. You are here. I know it's a different environment, different city. Most of us have never lived outside of a parent's house before coming to the US. But you need to earn the letter of recommendation, and that's very important. You just go through this presentation, see what all these panelists have told you, how to behave in a rotation. I have, in my residency, fellowship, and over here for the last 15 years, I've been working with the residents, and I can tell you, the first day I see a resident, I give them a topic to read, and I discuss with them about what's going to happen next. The next time they have to present it to me, and that presentation determines how the rotation is going to go for the next 30 days. I realize it is their time, it's my time worth enough for that particular kid to be with me, and so you have to earn, please.
Thank you. That was, of course, that is the core. You have to work hard in order to get a good LOR. Can't stress more on that. Dr. Sam Naqvi, do you have any question? Any last tip?
Yeah, I would actually, I would also say the same thing. You have to earn. So, and you work really hard. Even if when nobody's watching you, believe me, a third eye is always watching you. People do tell that people can judge whether you're working hard or not. The reason to work hard is that you want a better future. So with this application, if you working hard, people will know, they'll give you a good reference. And do not claim anything on your application which you haven't done, because people will find out. They know it. They know it what we were talking about, because when the things do not match, just one single thing, and that can be very, very difficult. This is one thing I just missed on the previous one, and I would say here that if there is a negative comment in letter of reference, you can sometimes judge. Nobody will tell you, because even if you call those programs, and nobody will tell you that there was a negative comment, because that has more implication. So if you keep on you are doing it, and nobody is refusing to get you into the program and all that, so just keep this thing in your mind, and try and speak to different people, and change your letter of reference, your referees, and see if that works. But this is in a desperate situation. To be honest, in the first place, you shouldn't have come to that point, that do not let them write any negative thing about you. So that's all I can say right now. And good luck with everything. And we are here to help. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Naqvi. Dr. Faiza Malik, do you have any last tip, excuse me, to give to the attendees? I think she's left. All righty. So, Dr. Kutab, do you have any last minute?
Yeah, sure. I would like to say that as everyone is saying that, you know what, be honest, and show that you have earned it. And you know what, do not try to paint a picture of you that you are the perfect candidate. Don't be pushy, and just to prove by your, work there, when you are doing that observership, take the ownership, be a team player, be honest, and, ready to help, ready to be participate. So not expect like that somebody's gonna tell you and you're gonna wait for that. If you see somebody is looking for some help, another person in the team, offer yourself there. And also do not go behind other person back and say that that this person did not give me a chance, or I was there. But first ask yourself truthfully that did you offer yourself there with full 100%. And then if the opportunity is not given to you, you have to ask yourself why the opportunity was not, before you go to being like critical about other people. So this is very, very important. And last, I would like to say thank you to Fatima to be our IT and our IT desk, and she was visiting over here. She is doing her MPH at Columbia University. And as you said that, the funds and the, right now the grants and everything, we are kind of in a very tight spot, but do not be involved in any kind of political activities. I think that's the message, as Dr. Fateh said that, just be a student, and thank you for, I want to say thank you to Fatma, to help all of us.
Thank you
It is
so much
mommy
for
thing.
yeah. No, thank you so much actually for setting the
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Maria, I want to just clarify one thing. I know I mentioned that there was a letter of reference written by a president. Please do not take it that you get your politicians in Pakistan, especially, or senators, or the parliament members to write letters for you. It will not work. They don't have, unfortunately, they don't have any good impression here, or I wouldn't say go to that extent, but they do not have, they're not going to earn you anything. Do not ask them to do it. So the main thing is that your professors of your institutions and the people you have worked with that in Pakistan, that's going to be the most important, but not the politicians or any parliamentarians. Sorry about that. I just wanted to clarify this. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So Dr. Sadaf Ali, and then Dr. Fateh Shahzad. Dr. Ali?
So it has been a very, very good webinar. A lot to learn and a lot got to my awareness, which is going on at the current time. I will say just keep being honest at every stage, right from the beginning to the end, and you will definitely get through the journey very well. Just keep shining.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Dr. Shazad?
Gee, thank you again. So I will just talk about the visa part. So again, the word being used, honest, is very important that you be honest and truthful in your visa application as well as during interview. Trust me, they know everything about you. I mean, everything. While when you apply for your visa application goes through the process, they check everything about you and where you live, where you work, who do you talk to. They look at your phone record, your phone contacts, your Facebook friends, your Instagram followers, everybody. So these days, as Dr. Rafia mentioned, stay away out of politics. I know the Palestine matter does matter. It's it's a heartache in our heart, but it's not in the U.S. government heart. So we want to come to USA. We have to respect what they want us to say and do and write. So just be careful. Don't let anybody else write on your post, Facebook post. Uh, Even it's not you, it's going to go against you. Those who are here, be careful also. As you all might know, one professor was not allowed to come back to USA because she went to attend the funeral of Hezbollah, that the Hezbollah president or whatever the leader was. So she was not allowed to come back. So we have to be careful. You can go to Department of State website. There is list of banned organization. There's list of banned people. So just be distant from those organizations. Don't those people. Don't be them. Their phone number on your list. Always give example. One resident, he was PGY2. His visa was denied, and maybe put on administrative process. So he contacted me. I said, okay, let me check it. I opened up his Facebook, and his DP has got him with 2 Kalashnikov. So don't do anything like that that puts you at risk. Does not mean that you're going to bring Kalashnikov here, but that shows your mentality. So you have to be very, very careful. So fortunately, he came back and he's a cardiologist now. But we have to be very, very careful these days while here, while in Pakistan, and if you plan to come to USA, you have to be very, very careful on your social media and your gatherings because they're taking pictures of gatherings. They're doing face, recognition techniques with AI. These days, it's very, very easy to recognize you if you're in any protest or if you're in any gathering, which is not kosher, I say, for the U.S. government.
And
Thank you so
even
much.
though, you know what, even during residency, when you are doing the residency,
Yes.
just avoid all that,
Yeah.
just focus on your residency. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it actually with this environment. Please just focus on your career right now. You have a long way to go, okay? Just be strong, get into that position, and then you can actually help people, okay? So I would like to actually conclude this really informative session. It has been great having all of the panelists come over and give their so useful insights. I truly appreciate that. I also would like to thank you, Dr. Dr. Rafia Kutab, and then Fatima Kutab, as well as Dr. Sam Naqvi for co-hosting. All right. So, and then we have been recording this, so we are going to share it on our website, APPNE website, as well as APNA YPC website, and then if you have any questions, please email us. We did share our emails with the slides with Dr. Zaidi mentioned, and as well as other panelists. You can also email APNE at 1947@gmail.com if you have any questions. The list of the programs and the WhatsApp link, please, we will be able to share that if you email that to us. For some reason, I'm unable to post that over here for chat. In the chat, for some reason it's not letting me, but yes, and in the end, we wish you all the best, and it's a very critical part of your career, and then just go. My last tip is just, it's your attitude which really counts. So have a very professional and positive attitude, and you'll get through it. Okay. All right. So we wish you well, and please stay tuned. Next webinar would be on research in US clinical as well as bench, which would help you for your residency match. So stay tuned. That will be in a few months. We'll be working, APPNE will be working on that. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the panelists as well as all the attendees for this. And all righty. Good luck with everyone.